Hey, what's up, guys? It's Bob Weir's birthday. Gotta love Bob Weir. Let's take off my third eye pine cone right here. So I figured, because of that, we should go over China Cat and the leads, the beautiful melodies he does in the intro. You know, so, well, Jerry starts off with, well, can you see this in the background? Original pressing I managed to snag of Europe 72. Only one song skips, which I'm happy for. Whoever had this record, you know, you're having some good times listening to it. So having skips on a dead record means the past listeners were partying it out, having a good time. Okay, let's put this back up here. But yeah, I'm blessed to have gotten that original pressing. So Jerry's part, it's all G Mixolydian. And the way I look at those chords before we get into Bobby's part, Jerry just holds that out. It's just an octave. G, low G. I mean, I kind of want to get past the point of having to tell you guys every fret. I think most of you are intermediate, so it's just a G, 3rd fret, low E string, and then 5th fret, D string. I've transcribed all of the Europe 70. But okay, Bobby's part. So let's analyze it a little bit. Okay, so we're in G Mixolydian. What is Mixolydian? It's a scale, a mode. Don't confuse yourself. G Mixolydian, the way I look at it, it's our major scale. So there's 7 notes in a major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You start over. You just take that 7th and put it down. So now instead of just all happy sounding, you got a little bit of like Fire on the Mountain, Franklin's Tower, China Cat. Those are all Mixolydian. That's like, that and Dorian are some of my favorite modes to jam around in. Okay, so the chords are just kind of like, it could be like G and F. Sometimes you could add C in there. They do all sorts of things. They jam, so. Crazy cat peeking lace, bandana like a one, I chest you like a diamond, I jet. I don't add the C in as much, but, so if you were G to keep G major, it starts on G major, there's no F major chord in there. That's why we're in G Mixolydian. So think about it like this. And you can private message me. I do all this for free, the tabs for free, but if you want private lessons, I'll do it real cheap and we can FaceTime or Skype. Okay, so why can't I see maybe just no one has commented. But G Mixolydian, so you have to think of what is at the 5 of. Okay, so we have, let's see, C. So G Mixolydian is a C major scale. 2 ways to look at it. G Mixolydian is a C major scale starting and ending on G. You don't want to think C major because you're going to end on C for your licks and it's in G. Young man, I love thank you guys. You guys are so kind. I've gotten 1 negative comment about the Mississippi thing, but I'm just doing this out of love. I have time. It's Bobby's birthday. So it's G Mixolydian, which means we're built around a dominant 7th chord. So what is that? Well, Bobby knows that there's a G chord here. I guarantee you he uses one of these shapes he always does. Instead of on the A string though, here. Let me get these comments out of the way so I can see. I won't be able to read your comments for a while because this doesn't let me go landscape. Wait, let me see. Does it? rotate your phone. You can't turn your phone while recording. Well, I'm doing it right now. Oh well. I'll have to figure that out. I do live because if I post a YouTube video in the group, not many people see it, so I have to do live. But I can't do landscape with it, so it's weird. I'll figure it out. So G. He's thinking G. So think of how your G major down here. Right? Once you get up to the 12th fret, it's an octave. Open strings, 12th fret, octave up. So you just play that same G shape up here. And he's just using the 12th fret on the D, G, and B. And so the G chord that we start on. So, and goes to the suspended 4th and whatnot. So his lick is, let's take that part. See, I don't know if I keep wanting to tell you guys every single note and fret, because it's good to figure it out on your own. How many of you can just see me and figure it out? I need to know who needs the frets and whatnot. Okay, so we have, well, I'll just go a little higher. Start on the 12th fret. These are all arpeggios. Bobby's a genius. I was sad those years he was mixed so low because he says in that one documentary he was inspired by McCoy Tyner and John Coltrane for comping and lead playing with him and Jerry a lot, which is awesome. So you can hear that. So this is largely, they do this a lot, but this is from the Europe 72 version. So we're just taking a G arpeggio. It's an inversion. Remember our G down here, we have 3 open strings. D, G, B. D, G, B, an octave up. We start on the G, 12th fret, G string. Pull off 13 to 12 on the B string, and that's suspended chord. Suspended means you want to resolve. Not always. If you're a jazz cat, you might just all suspend. Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage, it's just all suspended chords. It's cool. But anyway, so he goes, hits that G, 13, 12, pull off there on the B string, and then 14, 12, pull off on the G string. And I'm going to just give you the notes, but him and Jerry, and not a lot of people do it anymore. I like the percussive style. Get those little intentional mutes in there, like... Okay, so I get off top. I'm balling. This is all improvised. The dad's all about improvisation and feeling it out, so these lessons are all over the place too. But it's Bobby's birthday. One more thing before I get back. Me and my uncle went riding down South Carolina, West Texas mountain. Stop over in Santa Fe, that being the point, just about halfway. And you know it was the high spot of the day. Maybe I can go over that at the end. Okay, so we had 12th on the G string, all out of a G major arpeggio shape. This is your shape. 13, 12, pull off on B. 14, 12 on G. Okay, let's see. And then opposite, 12, 13, hammer on. G, 12, 13, 12, 14, 12. And then it's the G again. So this is the first phrase. Rest. And you can do those percussive things in between. So phrase 1. You should have that down now. And I'm going to upload it to YouTube and maybe slow these down if need be. Thank you guys so much for the positive comments. I love to do this. So. I didn't hit the right notes vocally at all, but whatever. And then G, phrase 2. G. This is a G because it's an octave of the open string. So this is just basically like doing this down here. But why would he go down there when Jerry's already got that area covered? They want to fill out the sound and be conscious of what frequency range everyone's playing. I've been watching and just realized this is live. Yeah, I love live improvising. Everything's best if you let the universe let it happen. I've learned to keep my goals and visions simple. Instead of, I want this girl, I want this to happen. I want connection. I want to make music with everyone I can. If you keep it simple and you're grateful, then the best things come to you. I want to be surprised. My best nights ever have been so spontaneous. You know, if I could write a novel right now of my whole life after now, what would be the best life? It'd be awesome. But, you know, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, will give me a better one. Hey, Spencer, you can shoot me a question or ask it on here. But let's keep going. Yep, simple is best. Minimalism. So, we had, this is 12th fret, remember? And then G, 13. So we're going up to the suspended 4th again. Or just the 4th of the scale. So 12 on the G, 12, 13 on the B, hammer on, and then 15, little offbeat thing. So, and that's like 1/4 of the lick, kind of. What's the best guitar for the dead without the high? Best guitar. Hey man, the guitar doesn't matter. This is a cheap guitar. It's learn on any guitar. You know, you want good equipment, but Jerry could have grabbed, you know, $100 guitar and it's still Jerry. Just, you know, find something you like that's cheap. If it plays, it plays. You don't need a super expensive guitar. You know, I'm serious. Give a good musician any cheap instrument and they'll jam it. This, I've been playing for 13, 14 years and this is like, I don't know, $400? Whatever. But it's the same kind of shape. It's the ES335 shape, Ibanez. And Bobby uses, I think, the D'Angelico ones. Or at least he uses just the Gibson ES335s. But he uses them for sure. It's a semi-hollow, which means it's not completely hollowed out, but it's got a block in it. And it's not a solid body rock and roll guitar. And if you're, I don't know what kind of strings Bob used, but I have flat wounds on here, which means it's kind of hard to bend. But it's really jazzy. The thicker the string, usually the more full the timbre and tone. Okay, so we have that 15, and then when you go back, all you do is it's like a motif. A motif means a repeating idea. Just like I told someone the other day, if you want to know how Jerry comes up with solo ideas, he's not just naturally born with it, guys. He is. But he worked his ass off. That's like taken away from all the work he put in. He sat down and, you know, he learned really naturally. What was I going to just say about that, though? Oh, he learned the vocal melody of the songs on guitar and built the solos off of that. That way it's not just like, guitar is a very hard instrument. You know, it's almost like guitarists are funny, especially when you're starting off, because you can just keep shredding. And you don't have to breathe like a wind player, so your phrasing, you could just never put rest in. But the rest and the space and melody are so important. That's why I love Jerry, because he knows when to not play and to play. You know? Cool. So, only thing that changes this time, instead of, he does a, so he just adds a, like a trill kind of thing, like I think that's called. So, first one. So instead, you go back to the beginning, but you do the 12, 13, 12 hammer on pull off instead of just 13 pull off. No, I'm not doing it. Back down again, same thing. But then, remember I talked about the F chord being in the G mixolydian? Or you could put C. This kind of shows you that they don't think of C as much. Just like how in Fire on the Mountain, you could add E And they do that in some like 78 versions. What is it? Okay, I'm getting off topic. I remember seeing something about the way he solos. There's a difference in the bluegrass. Wait, the blues. Let me finish this first and then remind me of that Michael Gray. So we got this down. 12, 13, 13, 12, 14, 12, 12, 13, 15, 15. But then the next time, same thing basically, but we add the hammer on pull up. 14, 12. That's not right. I'm not right. I think this is what he plays. But you could be right. I'm open. Is it, which part about that's not right if that's what you're talking about? Okay, so now we need to know the arpeggio. So G, the progression over the verses goes down to thank you, Colt, my man. It goes down to F. So Jerry and Bobby both know arpeggio means you take a chord and you separate it into different notes. So he's taking the F up here, or F that's usually down here. We're up here now, up an octave, and he starts on the third, the A, then he goes to the fifth and the root, an inversion. What is that? That's they call it in the Roman numeral system, it'd be called like a flat 7, 6, because 6 means that the third starts and not the root. So 14, 13, 13. Arpeggio from G to B. And then go back up to just do the same shape up 2 frets to the G. So remember, that's the same thing, an octave up from G and F down here. You might not recognize that, but I know you recognize major chords, so. So, I don't know if I added that in last time, but it goes real quickly. G12, B12. And then that arpeggio, or A, C. The notes are A, C, F. So that's an F major just voiced with the third on the bottom. Arpeggio, so 12, so once again, 14, 13, 13 from the G, the E string, and then go up 2 frets, 16, 15, 15. And here's the fun part. There's 2 variations. So the first one's, that's the trickiest part of the thing. Bobby's a genius. So I had to do this today. So that F1, you just go up. Thank you guys so much. Dang, you guys, I'm doing this all for free, remember? Because, I don't know. Lately, I'm trying to tell the universe and manifest that I don't care about money. I just want to make music and connect to people. Just please let me have a place to sleep and eat, and I'm cool. I just want to meet people, travel places, you know. I'd love to do this for free. And if you want private Skype lessons, you know, like whatever money you got, you know, or whatever, you know, I'll work with whatever, so. F, G, and then at the end, after you do that G, that 16, 15, 15, you hammer on. I don't know if I think he hammer-ons the first one, so. And you can take these other fingers off, like I do, so, dude, you're doing the world a great service, man. Thanks. Guys, this is just the beginning. Wait till I can get this professional. I can't upload a YouTube video here, I can get tabs on the screen and everything. I'll upload tabs to this, but I have to do live or nobody will see it. For some reason, the Facebook algorithms, when you post videos, like last time I posted a video in here, 2 people liked it, and I was like, oh man, and then I posted a live one or some other way in here, or I think I just directly uploaded it, and then it got like 200 likes, so I was like, okay, I have to do it this way. I'll figure it all out, but for now, we have the F, the first variation. After the G, you're gonna go either use your middle or your ring. It doesn't matter. We're on the 15th fret. Hammer on to the 17th, and then hit the 19th. Actually, that's how I do it, fingering-wise, if you really want to look at it. You can kind of let the other notes of the G major triad ring out. Yes, happy birthday, Bobby. Can you guys help Bobby notice me? I want him to... I sent his daughter some messages on Instagram. Very, very... with good intentions, though, you know? I love her dad. And she's very cute. I didn't say that. But, okay, so... So you play that G triad, 16 on the G, 15 on the B, 15 on the E. But on that last one, on the E, you hammer on with your ring to the 17th and then hit the 19th real quick. That's the first one. And then the whole riff repeats. All he does the second time is goes down on that last note. Back to G. So what is this of the scale? In G, this is the root, this is the major second, and this is the major third. So the first time he goes back, the second time he goes back to the root, first time up to the major third, walk up. So, to recap, I'm going to see if I can get the best angle possible. It's hard in portrait mode. Up, second time, back down to G. And then what else? And try to get percussive with it. Don't just play the notes, because Jerry does it a lot, but he does too, like he goes like, he doesn't just go, he kind of does this like little mute between, where you just take your finger off and mute it. Excuse me. I smoke way too many cigarettes right now. I need to stop, but 12, 12. So that part slowly. This is the hardest part of it. You can either let these fingers off or kind of keep them ringing out, because they're all part of G major. None of them are going to sound bad. So it's like an arpeggio. The third of G, the B, then the fifth of G, major chord, D, G, hit the second or the ninth, the scale, they're the same thing. And then do whatever feels comfortable. I know, I got to stop. I actually quit. I read this book by Alan Carr called The Easy Way to Quit Smoking, and it's so cheesy and gimmicky, but it's a great book like that, and it's like one of those, like how the AA people have had their book since like the 30s. If it's still working since then, you know, like it works. The book just talks about like you don't need willpower to quit smoking some cigarettes, because you don't even really want to deep down smoke cigarettes. So why do you need willpower to do something that you really hate? You know what I mean? And I quit for a week, and I gave the book to my mom, who was like almost 60 and had been smoking for years. And maybe I went back to smoking. She's been quit now for a month. So something good, positive did come out of it. I was like, great, after she read the book. So yes, chord tones. And you can slide into those. I think sometimes he just slides. Doesn't really matter what fret, but just right below. It happens so fast that it doesn't even really matter if you let those ring out. And Jerry, like, if you want to know, today's Bobby's lesson. No Jerry, guys, but it's just G. He's going from the octaves of G, and and then go into the perfect 4th, up to the perfect 5th, and the 7th. Mixolydian. And then F. But Jerry doesn't ever really accent the F. He's just kind of going, crazy cat peeking through a lace, bandana like a woman, I Cheshire like a diamond, I jet a leaf of all colors, place a golden string fiddle to a double, you wanna fall all over my back. I have those parts of those solos trained. Oh, I do have a tab for the Bobby part already, but it's not in PDF. It's in Microsoft Word, which I don't like because you can't see the rhythms and you can't see the sheet music. But I'll try to retab it. So, to recap, one last time, and then we'll move on. I'll play it real slow. Is this a good angle, guys? It's just like hard in portrait mode since they don't let me do landscape. You guys want to get to the point though? Like someone, I'm not going to try to sound like a a-hole, but someone messaged me the other day for tabs for the Mississippi I did. Only one person for the intro. I gave tabs for the chords, a solo, and this was the intro. Down a fret, down. It's just it's really simple, so you gotta make yourself work a little bit or you're not gonna understand it. And it's not gonna actually, like, stick. You can't rely all on tabs and, like, everything. Like, I mean, you can. I still use tabs, and I'm a jazz student that sight reads, which means, you know, put a mute piece of music in front of you. Bebop at school, like, 6 hours a week. Like, alright, here's a piece of music, let's go. It's hard, but, just try to develop your ear, you know? And, see, he does slide. It's just slide from 13 into the major. So it's from minor third to major third. That's like the bluesy kind of thing. That's like the bluesy kind of thing. Like that Jerry does. Or... That's what he's doing there, but in a different way. So that's variation 1. I think it's genius that he goes to the high note for the first part, and the second part, he ends on the low note. You would think building something up, it's the other way around. I thought the lyrics were shot a load all over my... I have no idea what we're talking about, but, see, it's genius to end on that high note the first time, then second time. Back down to home base, G. Am I getting some trolls up in here? What lyrics are shoot a load all over my back? I haven't shot a load over someone's back in way too long. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Okay, so, what else? Let's talk about Me and My Uncle real quick. That's a Bobby tune. E minor, B7. Sometimes they just vamp E minor before they go into it. And other times, I like the intro when it's like E minor. I like the E minor up here, so we'll do it up here. B7. And that's like a harmonic minor. Because in a minor key, we usually have E minor and B minor. But that wouldn't sound the same. So we raise the 7th of the scale and we get... So that's the dominant 5, which is the best chord to lead back to 1. So E minor, B7, E minor. Me and my Uncle G went riding down E minor. South Carolina, G to E minor for a while, West Texas bound. We stopped over in Santa Fe, that being the point, A major just about halfway. And then that intro thing, and you know it was the highest part of the day. So, thank you guys so much. Such lovely comments. I'm gonna keep doing it. I just don't want to oversaturate the market. And, I mean, I'm not trying to be businessy, but I would like to get some private Skype lessons from this, or just get YouTube to pay me when I get enough views. But I'm giving you guys everything for free. You guys are family, you know? I don't expect payment. I've had to pay for so many transcriptions and tabs out throughout my, like, 13 years. And I paid, like, $10 sometimes for one sheet or what I'm giving you guys. And that's not what family's about. The money will come if I give. I give first, and then the money comes. I'm not worried about it. Even though I am a broke college student. I'll find my way. Follow the music. That's all I'm doing. Music, people, connection. Keep it simple. Okay, so, eat my uncle. So, yeah. So, those are the open chords. Link for YouTube. It's just look up dedicated jams, or I'll post it after. So it's E minor, B7, E, and then it just goes G to E minor the whole time. So let's talk about their mindset. They're always changing it up, slower, faster. So, you know, maybe live one time, they're at the G, it just goes from G to E minor for a while, you know? And I'm not sure if they're playing open chords, but you can do any voicing. Remember, G, Bobby likes these kind of voicings. That's the thing about guitar. You don't want to go all over the place. You want to see the closest notes in the next chord and the mutual notes. So instead of doing like this, see how much I'm moving? Bobby would do something like this. G major. Sorry, my good buddy just called me. I'm so glad these don't stop when people call you, but he is the kind of guy that calls so many times, so hopefully he doesn't. I can't follow with these comments, but thanks, thank you guys. This is what I put. Not say you call another time. Dude, just wait a second, man. I love you, but I'm trying to do a live feed, bro. Okay, so how would they, like, take that and improvise it? Like I said, Bobby would take your C major, and how do we count from C to G? C, D, E, F, G. So G is the 5 of C major. So you just go up to the perfect 5th, and our root is here now. And you play a C shape. Bobby loves these shapes. But now we have to bar, since if we can't just move a C up because these are moved up, but the open strings aren't moved up. So Bobby loves these, like, these are hard chords to get used to, and Bobby does them all the time. That's what I was saying earlier in China, he kind of does the same thing with the G, and then works off it. So what was I gonna say? So yeah, so Bobby would do something like, you could, in this way, when you do it this way, instead of G, E minor, see how much I move? That's good sometimes, but other times you want to stay as close as possible and keep the mutual notes. You don't want your music to sound jump all over the place always. But G, Bobby would do something like this to E minor. See how much less of a movement that is? I'm keeping common tones. Because G minor and E minor, G major and E minor are very similar. Look, we both have we have a B in both of them, and you can figure out the other tones. Have you been smoking? I have been smoking. I'm trying to quit. Smoking other things, I'm always going to, but smoking cigarettes, I don't know. Okay, so how would they improvise it? Well, I see G major to E minor repeated. In the scale, we can just walk down to E, you know, if we're doing open chords. Me and my uncle walk down to F sharp. And you might say, why don't you walk down to, sorry, I'm reading comments. Why don't you walk down to F? Because it's not in the key signature. F sharp is. Or you could be like Jerry and use chromaticism, which means you just use any note you want. Me and my uncle went riding down. That way you can connect the chords. Back up, F sharp, 2nd fretted low E. And if you wanted to use the 1st fret, it's out of tune, but me and my uncle... It doesn't sound as good for that, but Jerry does that in his leads a lot. So, and what other kind of ideas? When I solo cover it and try to keep their vibe, instead of just the chords, me and my uncle went riding down. I do this little like bluegrassy, folky, whatever you want to call it. So I'm playing the G without this finger. I like this shape of G. Pinky here, middle here, ring here. So I go. This is a strumming pattern. And then I do hammer-ons. Or whoops. Hammer-on 0 to 2. You can use any notes that are in the key of G major or E minor. Or, well, those two different keys, but I screwed up on the theory a little bit there. Forget what I just said. But G, hammer-on. So just make up your own stuff and then use the F walk down. So, like this. So you can go like, I bet Adam is good in math. I'm good in math if it's like, I have my med card in Michigan. I'm going to the dispensary and me and my buddies are splitting an ounce of nug, beautiful nugs. Then I'm good at math. He needs this much money, I need this much money. What money do we need? But if it's like, David is a construction worker, I'm good at math when it applies to music and what I like, but otherwise, what part of the world am I? Detroit, Michigan. Well, I'm a little north of there, but I go to school for jazz studies. I'm a jazz guitarist. Well, I'm really a blues guitarist. I'm just a guitarist, okay? So, me and my uncle. Me and my uncle, hammer-on. That's why I keep the fingers this way. And you can even do it on the G if you wanted to. 0, 2. Went riding down. And sometimes I like to go use this E minor, G minor kind of thing. It's like a bluesy thing. So that's just sliding into the 4th of the G while simultaneously sliding into the 3 of the beat. So me and my uncle went riding down South Colorado, West Texas bound. We stopped over in Santa Fe. And sometimes I like to keep just the D string hammer on going between both chords. Okay, so I think that's it for Happy Birthday, Bob. But, listen to, it's my original pressing, remember? This is the right way. You can read it upside down. Original pressing. I'm gonna spin it today as Black-Throated Wind. I was gonna almost do, how long have I been playing? It's been 13 years now, just about, since I was 10. I'm 23 now. Anything else you guys want me to do before I get off? I want to do Bobby stuff, so let's think real quick. El Paso, I just don't want to do that right now because I don't know it as well. My phone will die, but I do have time for a little bit more. What other Bobby? If I don't get any comments, I'll just... Yeah, I don't know Black-Throated yet. Here, let me see, I could go over a little bit of the Mississippi I did the other day, and you know, I don't know too many Bobby tunes, dang, let's see, but did you guys all see the lesson? I can go over those chords real quick. After on the day when I was born, Daddy sat down and cried. I had the morning just as plain as day, that could not be denied. I don't know playing. I could learn it real quickly. I gotta learn more. What other Bobby tunes? I mean, if you guys want, I'll go over the rest of the chords to Mississippi, even though it's like a Bobby thing. Let's see. El Paso. El Paso, I can't remember one chord if it's one or the other, but out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. It might be, it's either E minor or G, but they're so similar. So let's look at the triads. An E minor triad is E, G, or E, G, B. And a B major chord is G, I'm getting all confused, G, B, D. So E minor and G can be used as substitutions for one another. It's a G, okay, it's a G, thank you. So, out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with. So let's see how simple that is. We start on D, so it's our home base. D, E, F, G. It's just a 1, 4, 5. The only 3 major key chords in any key or mode are the 1, 4, and 5. So 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 1 chord. And you know, Jerry's probably just noodling in D major. E minor and G are not interchangeable. Let me think here. Well, actually, yeah, I think they are, because here, let's think about it. E minor and G, there's 1 chord between them, so that means they have mutual notes. Here, you know, I'm not going to try to argue, but let me write it out for you real quick, okay? Let's see. Okay. Any chord is interchangeable once you start getting into jazz and jamming. I just, you know, that was kind of disrespectful, man. E minor, G. E, B. Okay. So let's look at this. Maybe this is backwards. E minor is E, G. You always skip a note to build triads. E, F, G, A, B. E, G, B. And G major is G, A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D. So E, G, B, E minor, G, G, B, D. How are they not interchangeable? They both have a B and a G. There's 1 note difference. Don't tell me they're not interchangeable, man. You can use an E minor. There's no right or wrong. I'll play it for you. It sounds just as good. Maybe they use a G. I didn't know. But there's 2 mutual tones. If you take a chord key signature, I'm sorry to get a little upset, but I just don't like you saying they're not interchangeable when they have 2 mutual notes. Anytime you go up 2 chords in a key, they're going to have 2 mutual notes, and they can substitute each other. It can definitely, maybe they're not relative minor. No, I'm not angry. I'm sorry. It's just when he said it's not interchangeable. It's, you know, no. Did I seem angry? I'm sorry. Okay, but seriously, you could use both, and like, when you're like the Dead, the attitude is like, change it up. Out in the West Texas, G, A, B. Thank you, it is interchangeable. They both have a B and a G in them, so it sounds just as good. Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I'd be willing to bet they use both live. Then A minor is the same as C. A minor and C are relative minor and majors, buddy. I'm not messing. But yeah, if you go C down to A, 2 mutual notes does not make it the same. Yeah, it makes it different. And the Dead are all about different new things. So C is the relative major of A minor. They have 2 mutual notes. So yeah, you could have fun and interchange them. There's no rules. You learn the rules and guidelines of music theory so you can step outside of them and be creative, just like the Dead. And so A minor is not, I didn't say it's the same as C. I said you could substitute it with C. That's why there's fake cadences that end on A minor instead of going from G to C, you go from G to A. Because it's a substitution. It's not the same. But you can message me if you want, man. We can discuss theory, because that did kind of grind my gears just a little bit. I learn this. I get up every morning and learn this stuff in school. Not that makes me better than anyone. You guys have just as much to teach me as I do, but this is just my job. So yeah, you could go G, A, or A7, D, or E minor. Look, it is interchangeable. Look, David, man, I might have to block you from this. I love discussion, but I'm a jazz student, so you can substitute like you can do anything with music. I'm sure that Dad did E minor and G. There's two notes in common. Only different note is E and D, which are a whole step apart. So it's not gonna sound bad to interchange them with each other. It's gonna sound colorful because D over or let's see, an E that's not in G is is the sixth of G. So it's like if we play an E G let's see, a G major chord and add the E that's not in it from E minor, we get G6 chord, because G, A, B, C, D, E. So yeah, you can interchange them, and if one person plays an E minor and the other plays a G, they end up making a new chord, a G6 chord. You can look at it a bunch of ways. I'm sorry to get kind of heated about that, guys, but I love you all. Happy birthday, Bobby.